Does it ever amaze you how quickly things go away? How someone can say something and everyone is outraged, and it seems like the amount of outrage that comes towards them is sort of just all the outrage that they would normally deal with in the past if they had a terrible comment to make. It's like Kanye West says that Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and 50 million people go at Kanye because 50 million people would have gone against you during the course of 10 years if you would have said something terrible in 1960. Like, is that what it is? Is that what just makes it go away so easily after 2 or 3 weeks? I mean, outside of causing harm to others, doing something horrible, child pedophilia, a domestic issue with your wife, outside of that, people will forgive you, or at least they'll forget. They'll become enriched in the own troubles of their lives, and they'll just totally forget until they have something else to be outraged about, because it gives them escapism, because maybe then they look at their lives and they can self-righteously grandstand on an artist for saying something terrible, and there's some, what is it? Because I was expecting, after this Kanye album to drop, I was expecting some form of pushback for the comments that Kanye made. Did Kanye give himself an out with the mental illness? Did the interviews work? Is that why there isn't a lot of outrage for Kanye? It's a solid record. 7 tracks on it. I found myself liking about 4 of them. I really enjoyed Violent Crimes, Yikes, I Thought About Killing You, the spoken word part about the song, at least. I mean, as it progressed into the end of the song, as it intensified, I wasn't too much of a fan of that. But the middle point and the spoken word worked for me. Ghost Town, Wouldn't Leave also, which he's addressing the very same issue that I'm addressing right now with his meltdown, or My Mistake, his quote unquote breakthrough. In this song, he basically dismisses the whole thing, and he seems to be more concerned about his relationship with Kim, you know, saying that Kim was worried and he was going to fuck the money up, and what are you doing? Almost felt like it was kind of damage control in a sense, because some of the comments that I heard out there were, well, that's what happens when you're with a woman like that. These are the actions that you would do. You would go on TMZ. You would say things like slavery is a choice, which, by the way, that was the worst of it all. I mean, don't confuse any of this for a second, at least for me, that the Trump thing was everything that I said it was. It was just an analogy or whatever, or a metaphor that he could sort of project into the world and say, I am that person. When you see that person, to see him is to see me, and I would like to do what he's doing. Not literally, and I'm really not concerned about how you see him. I'm just expressing how I feel about him, because I see me in him, because what's important to me is me. Remember, I love myself way more than I love you, and I've thought about killing myself. It all makes sense, you know. The the narcissism makes sense, but that's what you get when you listen to a Kanye record. That's what you get when you listen to Kanye say anything. You know, Yikes is a great braggadocious record. I really enjoyed it for that reason, because I love it when Kanye just doesn't give a fuck and he just goes off. That's why that's why Theraflu is one of, oddly enough, I know every time I say this people get so surprised, but that's why Theraflu is one of my favorite Kanye records, like top 10. So after the comments are made, after the slavery comments are made, the slavery comment is really what Kanye has no business saying. He's well within his right to say it, but Kanye is not qualified. He is not knowledgeable enough to peel off the layers and explain to people why he feels that slavery was a choice. I saw a lot of people in support of Kanye. They were paraphrasing what he had to say, but when you make a statement like that, there is no paraphrasing. That person has to literally walk us through what it is that they mean, not what you think it is, not about your thoughts about, I am not a victim, so I don't see slavery as, I don't wear it as a I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. I wanted to hear Kanye walk us through why he feels that slavery is a choice, and I don't think he really did that. But then again, it's a Kanye comment. He was doing the Trump. Most people chalk that up to attention and trolling, but the slavery comment is obviously seen as dangerous because of the influence that Kanye has. It's a dangerous thing for him to say because he has the minds of so many young people out there. And if he makes comments like that, then what's the world coming to? But I thought there would be more outrage. I thought there would be at least a significant amount of a charge against Kanye. And I'm not saying it because I want people to take Kanye down. I think I just like people to be consistent. I'd like people to be outraged about something that an artist says and really put their money where their mouth is. I mean, I don't expect you to not stream Kanye's album. I mean, it's free, but, you know, don't buy the album. Don't buy the sneakers because, listen, there's a lot of people out there that felt like they really didn't want to fuck with this guy ever. And I would like to see if that materializes in the report of the sales. I'm very interested in seeing that. My commentary is more about the reception of the album itself. The reception of the album is pretty much people drinking in the album and saying whether they liked it or whether they didn't. I would have thought at this point there would have been a huge crowd of people that say, listen, I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's great. I don't care if it's terrible. The fact is that he made a comment about slave and blah, 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 blah. I just want people to be consistent because that was the rah-rah issue. That's what it all was. Is it easier for an artist to say things like this as opposed to a football player? Is it easier for an artist who basically builds their reputation off the things that they say, builds their reputation off having their strong opinions? Is it a form of their art? Because athletes, when they say things, it's looked at as a more severe offense. Obviously, football and basketball, those are family brands, and they want children and, you know, people of all ages to watch. So there's a lot more money at stake. So it's a lot more harmful. But sometimes I kind of look at it that way, that an artist can say whatever it is they want, because at the end of the day, that's what they do. That's what they do. They talk. They speak rhythmically over records. And if he has all the right in the world to say, I thought about killing you, you know, yes, we understand that that's within the context of a song, then he can say something crazy like slavery was a choice and get away with it. Because if Cam Newton said slavery was a choice, I'm pretty sure fans wouldn't forget about it 5-6 weeks into the season. They'll remember that until the end of time. But it seems like music listeners just don't show that same consistency, or aren't showing that consistency towards Kanye. Kanye is, of course, a bigger artist, so you would think that you could make an example of him because he's such a big brand. It would be a message to celebrities out there that they can't use their power in dark ways, because that seemed to be what he was doing, at least in the eyes of many. Now, you still have the opportunity to go to change.org right now and go to the People versus Kanye, and you can be one of the 780 people who have signed a petition to boycott Kanye. But again, there's no real big witch hunt against Kanye, and I'm not wishing on it because I don't like Kanye. It's just, where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line? I think an artist has the right to say whatever they want, and Kanye has pretty much set a precedent for the worst thing that you could say, at least in the eyes of rap fans now. Maybe next year there will be a more terrible thing that you could say, but there is no worse a statement than a rapper can make than, hey, Trump, he's a great guy. So where does the line get drawn? You know, if there's another comment that's made and everybody's outraged, but it's like, yeah, but is this going to translate when they put out a project, or are you really going to keep that same energy for the very next project or the next time they come out with a pair of sneakers? If people are still supporting Kanye sneakers at a high volume. I'm not sure what the report is going to be on the Yeezys 2018 collection. I don't know what the projections on that are, but if people are supporting him when it comes to $1,200 sneakers, I mean, then nothing's ever going to stop him. And maybe that's the reason why he did it in the first place. Eminem, you'll remember, made the comment against, if you're a Trump supporter and you're a fan of mine, then fuck you. And everybody was like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's not crazy at all, because Eminem wouldn't have said the comment if he didn't think that a larger and a stronger part of his constituency wouldn't support him. You know, he knows that he would have gotten the support of the majority of his fans, and that would outweigh the people who were outraged, who were Trump supporters. You understand? So he knew what he was doing there. And maybe Kanye knows that no matter what, no matter what's said, in this case at least, time is the best healer. And if I make a comment about Trump and about slavery, and then 3 weeks later, if I release my album, I know it's not going to matter, because I can deliver a good product and people are just simply just outraged for the sake of being outraged. You know, everybody accuses Kanye of being a contrarian for the sake of being a contrarian, but it's like, but we're outraged for the sake of being outraged. And if I'm wrong about that, why isn't there more negative press about Kanye now with the release of his project? Are you still feeling a certain type of way about Kanye after the comments that he made? Or do you not care and you just like the project, or you didn't like the project? Please let me know in the comment section below. Have you seen any activity online? Because I haven't been able to find it. I would think that social media would be buzzing about it more. I would think Black Twitter would have their hands in this, but it just hasn't happened. So please let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.